Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ Live here on October 9th, 2017. A huge edition of Monday Night Raw this week. We had The Shield reuniting. We also had Good Lucha Things himself, Kalisto, winning the Cruiserweight title. We have Kayfabe Candy Ass in the chat room. So this is going to be a spectacular edition of NoDQ Live. Tell your friends, share this video on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Reddit. Text your friend, call your friend, smoke signal your friend. Let them know NoDQ Live is now on the airwaves on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, of course. Kayfabe who? Kayfabe Candy Ass. Get it right. Cool hand, Dylan. Anyways, first off, I would like to discuss the end of Monday Night Raw, the crowning of a new Cruiserweight champion. I will be talking about the Shield reunion and the main event for TLC in just a few minutes. So stay tuned. Keep spreading the word about this video. Share it on social media right now. I'm sure you're just watching me. Go ahead and minimize this. Go onto Facebook or Twitter and copy a link to this video and paste it in there and hit submit. Anyways, let's talk about the final segment of Raw. Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments on the final segment of Raw. I will read off some of the responses. Kalisto, Good Lucha Things, is the new Cruiserweight champion. He defeated Enzo Amore in a lumberjack match. Now, originally, this match was announced for the TLC pay-per-view, but Kurt Angle decided to have the title match take place tonight, and Angle added that the no contact clause, whatever it is, would be waived because they're doing a lumberjack match. The whole thing really doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. And Kurt Angle made the match, lumberjack match with all the cruiserweights at ringside. The match itself was pretty good. I mean, the crowd was not really that into it during the beginning moments of the match, but once they did that big spot where Kalisto superplexed Enzo onto all the cruiserweights fighting on the outside, the crowd totally woke up for that. They started the holy crap chant. The crowd got into it at that point. I will say, I definitely think it's a good thing that Enzo, or excuse me, not Enzo, but Kalisto rather, went back to his old entrance music. That new theme song was not cutting it. The crowd definitely does the lucha dance when he comes out to that old theme song. The old theme was way better for Kalisto, so I'm glad WWE went back to the old theme. That was definitely a positive. And some might say this is a good move, some might not. What do you guys think about Kalisto being the new Cruiserweight champion? Do you think Enzo will get it back at TLC? What do you think is the next step in this storyline? Oh, somebody noted on here, possible Cruiserweight ladder match at TLC. That makes a lot of sense. I think that would be a great way for the Cruiserweights to really excel in a ladder match at TLC. I definitely like that idea. Somebody on here said, anybody but Enzo. That was Philip N saying that. Lucky T said it was a great match. Garrett said, put it back on Neville. And Buddha said it's like Rey Mysterio all over again. So yeah, Kalisto did reference Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. And of course, today was Eddie Guerrero's 50th birthday. So I figured there would be some sort of reference to Eddie. And of course, it makes for a nice cheap pop to reference Eddie. So whatever. I enjoyed the segment, though. I thought it was a good ending to Raw. Even though the Cruiserweight segment's ending Raw is a little different from what we've seen in WWE history, where we see these Cruiserweight segments. But at least the guys are getting a chance to really shine now. You could say WWE is also doing it because of Monday Night Football, and WWE's attitude is, the ratings are going to go down at the end anyway, so why not just throw the Cruiserweights out there and give them the morale boost, say, hey, you guys are getting the main event segment. So there could be more than one reason why WWE is putting the Cruiserweights in the main event segment. All right, so people are asking about the Sister Abigail segment. What did you guys think about that? That was interesting to say the least. So basically, Bray Wyatt is Norman Bates. For those of you that have seen the Psycho movies and the Bates Motel TV series, Lucky T says it was lame. Jason says it was terrible. Um, Sister Abigail was a waste of bronze space. I'm wondering if next week we're going to have a segment where Finn Balor is taking a shower backstage after a match and he gets attacked by Sister Abigail right out of Psycho. I would actually like that. Oh, by the way, Vince Russo was a big fan of Sister Abigail on Raw this week. So take that for what you will. And for those of you commenting about the Shield, yes, in just a few minutes, maybe about 10 minutes or so, I will give my thoughts on the Shield and what's going to happen at TLC. So stay tuned for that. Please keep sharing this video and spreading the word. We have over 100 live viewers. Let's try to get to 300 tonight if possible. So yeah, the Sister Abigail segment, I really am not sure what to make of it. I thought it was quite lame personally. It reminded me of WCW, and that's never really a good thing. It reminded me, I'm not sure if you guys are old enough. Some of you might remember the old segments in the early 90s, the mini movies that involved like Sting and Vader. It reminded me of one of those segments, or maybe even worse, that Nitro segment where Rick Steiner um, talked to Chucky on the video wall, and Rick Steiner actually called out the Chucky doll to come to the ring and fight him in a match. So it was one of those segments that was really silly with the voice effects and the Snapchat filter, whatever they were using. Philip M says it was worse than the Dungeon of Doom. Is Bray Wyatt not winning the match? Well, it's Sister Abigail, not Bray Wyatt. So I guess you could say if Sister Abigail loses, technically Bray Wyatt did not lose the match. Maybe this will work. I mean, I'm not going to completely crap on it. If he goes full Norman Bates and they have the shower attack, I might become a fan of it. But we'll see. And I would like to thank Interstate Kyle for doing the admin job in the chat room. So you guys in the chat, make sure you behave and be nice. And we have Tyler Joseph Smith, TJS in the chat room, also an admin, a moderator, whatever. He's doing a great job as well. So I would like to thank them for laying down the law in the chat room. And that's for those of you watching live. I know a lot of you watch NoDQ live, not live. You watch it on demand, which is cool. Whatever you prefer. I know some people got other things going on, but I do appreciate all the live viewers and trying to make this as interactive as possible by reading off your comments. And you guys can throw questions at me, throw your comments, and we can bounce off each other with thoughts and ideas about Monday Night Raw. Alexander said they can do the effects for Bray, but no pyro for anyone. I would like pyro. I said this last week. I hope they do pyro at TLC, at least for the Shield's entrance. I don't think Bray will get it, but the Shield coming back is a big deal. And again, I will talk about the Shield in just a few minutes here. So Enzo win the championship back at TLC. I could see that happening, or maybe it's going to be a multi-person match. Maybe they'll do like a 6-person. I think a multi-person ladder match would actually be a more entertaining match. I mean, we all know Enzo's limitations. So, Enzo could say, I want my rematch, but Kurt could say, well, I'm going to put other guys in the match. So if you want the rematch, you're going to have to fight these other guys. Something like that to screw over Enzo and force Enzo to get involved in the match. TJS said, will it be Neville versus Kalisto? Could be, but I'd like to see like a 6-person, 6 or 7 people ladder match. Could be a lot of fun at the TLC pay-per-view. I would be a fan of that, but a ladder match, even if it's Neville and Kalisto one-on-one, could be good. But I think it would be more entertaining with all the guys involved. Doing the big stunt show. I think that those kind of matches are better when it's like 6 or 7 people as opposed to a one-on-one match. Jeffrey says Sister Abigail versus Demon King at TLC. I don't think he's busting out Demon King for the TLC pay-per-view. If he does it, it seems like he's doing it for only the biggest shows like SummerSlam and Survivor Series and the Rumble. So I don't think that's going to happen. Kyle, SmackDown is tomorrow night. We'll talk about Jinder Mahal tomorrow night. Right now, tonight's focus is Monday Night Raw. Your guys' overall thoughts on the show. I thought Raw was really good. I thought Raw was one of the better shows of the year, actually. I mean, the Shield stuff was really strong. And, the Cruiserweight segment was entertaining. I thought Raw was very good this week. Rizzo said Willow versus Sister Abigail. There you go. Oh, whatever happened to Matt Hardy? I know Braun Strowman carried out Matt Hardy, but we never saw Matt again, from what I recall. Mogul Cole is the best commentator, says Jason EXP. And then Marco says, when did Titus turn face? Good question. That was a lame segment. I think some of you liked it, but Titus coming out there playing the banjo, it felt like forced humor. It felt like they came up with this and they were trying too hard to be funny. I don't know. Wasn't a big fan of it. Um, wasn't really feeling it. I don't know. When it comes to Titus and comedy, it doesn't work for me. I like that whole Rufus T. Firefly, whatever he was doing a couple of years ago. That segment with Darren Young and John Cena, that was awful. Really bad segment. Kayfabe Candy says, is Titus a babyface? Bad singing over a banjo. So he wasn't a fan of it either. If myself and Kayfabe Candy Ass don't like a segment together, you know it's bad. Oh, it was Rufus Pancake Patterson. What did I say? Rufus T. Firefly. I think that was Groucho Marx in one of those movies, the Marx Brother movies. I don't know. It was a stupid name, stupid segment. But yeah, Titus and comedy, just doesn't really work for me personally. I'm just not into it. What did you think about the Mickie James segment? I enjoyed it. I mean, some people don't like the fact that WWE is making fun of Mickie for her age, and yeah, it's Alexa doing it, but it's the people in WWE writing it for Alexa, and there's some people believing that it's WWE's way of bullying her and making fun of her age, just like they made fun of her weight a decade ago. Ricky Lawson said at least it wasn't Mickie James bad. I like the little vignette that Alexa showed with the black and white footage. That was kind of cool. I was entertained by it, and I feel happy for Mickie James that she is getting this title match, and they're at least doing something with her. So I thought it was good. And Cool Hand Dylan said that the Mickie James segment was way too fast. Alexander says, do you think Alexa will bring up Mickie James? I don't think they will. I mean, I think they're just focusing on the old lady thing, and there's really no need to go back to that when people were not fans of that segment to begin with. Why bring that up when it got bad reviews? But then again, it's WWE. You never know for sure what they're gonna do. Matthew Cross said, "Poor Emma." So Emma is the winner of a 5-woman elimination match to face Asuka at TLC. Good for her. I mean, she's going to get destroyed by Asuka at that pay-per-view. RIP Emma. I'm not sure why WWE did an elimination match. I mean, I thought that made Bayley in particular look really weak. Why not just do first person to score pinfall wins, and then Emma could win with a roll up, so none of the other women are made to look weak. I mean, it's not like Emma is going to gain anything out of facing Asuka besides getting destroyed. So I would have rather Emma just won by a fluke. It's not like she's becoming #1 contender for the WWE title like Jinder Mahal. She's getting the opportunity to get her butt kicked by Asuka. So I think they should have just done a straight up 5-way match. And I think there was some confusion on commentary. They weren't sure if it was a regular standard 5-way match or an elimination match, and there was a little bit of confusion there. How many viewers now? We are almost at 200. And happy Columbus Day. In 1492, Columbus got us off a day of school. A little reference to South Park right there. And what's funny is I saw all that debating on Twitter about Columbus Day when South Park did it last week and brought up the whole thing. So they basically telegraphed it. So good for Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Anyways, back to Monday Night Raw. Does Corey Graves hating Enzo kayfabe or real? It might be a combination of both. It's interesting because Corey Graves is supposed to be the heel color commentator, yet he really dislikes Enzo. It's like JBL when JBL was hating on MVP, even though they were both heels. So that's a little weird, but then again, maybe Corey really doesn't like Enzo, and maybe the writers are scripting it that way so nobody likes Enzo. So the fans know that this is really an unlikable guy when even the heel color commentator doesn't like him. So it might just be the writers really wanting to bury him pretty bad and just make the fans hate the guy. I don't know. It might be WWE's method of getting heat on Enzo with the fans. I'm not sure. But anyways, Corey hates Enzo and Elias, but Booker and Cole praise both. So Michael Cole is praising Elias, even though Elias is a heel. That I do not understand. Yeah, he said, why did Cole love Elias? That it felt like 2010 Michael Cole again. I'm like, what's going on here? But anyways, we're getting closer and closer to 300 viewers. So let's go ahead and talk about the big topic, which is the Shield. The Shield is officially back. We had the Miz kick off Raw with Miz TV. You had Curtis Axel accepting an award, the Mizzy. There was no Bo Dallas this week. Bo was somewhere else. Who knows where he was at? But we had Miz. We had the Bar coming out. And then we had Roman Reigns come out. And Miz was saying, you're all alone. You're by yourself. And there's only the rumors about the Shield. And then Reigns was like, what rumors? And then all of a sudden you had Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins come out. The Shield was back. Crowd went nuts for this. So far it's working. So far, Roman Reigns is over with the fans again by association as part of the Shield. The crowd was really into it. The Shield had brand new T-shirts immediately. So, obviously the guys in Stamford worked really fast, or, you could just say that the Shield had planned this all along and went to WWE and had the T-shirts made. Whatever. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just nitpicking, complaining about them having the T-shirts right away. Kayfabe Candy Ass said if we reach 500 viewers, he will show his face like Kane did in 2003. So if you guys want to see Kayfabe Candy Ass's face, you got to keep spreading the word about this video. And if you are watching live and you are enjoying the video, please share it on all social media platforms. Tell a friend about NoDQ video. This is where it's at. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching live. Kayfabe Candy Ass. But anyways, back to the Shield segment. We had the Shield take out the Miz and the Bar. We had the return of the Shield Bomb. Do you guys like that name, the Shield Bomb? I mean, I just prefer the triple power bomb. They were calling it the Shield Bomb. What do you guys think about that? We had the 3 Shield members do the power bomb to the Miz, and that was the segment. Hate Me Now said nope in regards to liking the name Shield Bomb. Roman's already a bomb. So I thought this was a really good segment. It's definitely building up the pay-per-view well. And I like the fact that this was the same city where the Shield debuted 2012 Survivor Series in Indianapolis, Indiana. And then they broke up in 2014 in the same building, same venue. And then they reunite in the same place. So that was a really nice touch. And the timing just worked out for that to happen. Definitely, good storytelling here. So I like this. I like the reunion. And then, of course, the past 2 weeks with Braun Strowman beating up and defeating both Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose back-to-back weeks. That played into this whole thing as well. The Shield came out to get some payback on Braun Strowman. They power-bombed him through the table. And then the Miz backstage told Kurt Angle he wants a 4th guy on his team. Angle agreed to it, and then out came a very angry Braun Strowman. So now it's 3-on-4. Do I think the Shield will enter through the crowd? I hope so. I mean, I said this last week. They totally need to do a big, elaborate entrance. If you're going to bring back Pyro, this would be the time to do it. I cite SummerSlam 2009 when DX came out for their big comeback with the tanks and everything. That was at Staples Center in Los Angeles, and that entrance was phenomenal to watch in person. It was really cool. It was a really nice way for DX to come back with the big tanks and everything. So I think, somebody said maybe the Shield should come out with the SWAT cars and, wearing that face gear that they had before they broke up. They should just have this big, elaborate Hollywood-style entrance at the pay-per-view, in my opinion. This is a big deal. Make it a big deal. Shell out the money for Pyro. And, the fact that we haven't seen Pyro much lately, will make it feel all that more special. So I'm definitely a fan of it being a big, elaborate entrance at TLC. Now, when it's 3 against 4, does this mean that the Shield might lose? And my answer is no. I think the Shield will, in fact, win, despite Braun Strowman being on the heel side. Um, oh, Gilberto's here. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest troll in NoDQ.com history, Gilberto, is here, and he's able to use his real name for once. How about that? Will I do a live video after Impact? I will, little dude, if we get to 40,000 members on NoDQforums.com by November 1st. And if not, Gilberto, you might be fired, pal. So you better spread the word and get 40,000 members. And by the way, for those of you watching, you're not part of NoDQforums.com, head over there, sign up. It's free to sign up. It's just a Facebook group. It's nothing significant, but we're trying to get 40,000 members. So check it out, NoDQforums.com. Did they make any reference to Lance Russell? I'm not sure if they did. Did they make any reference? I don't think they did, but I might have missed something. I don't think so. Kayfabe Candy S said they did not. So unfortunately, no reference to Lance Russell. But yeah, I think the Shield's winning. I definitely feel like the Shield is winning, and we have crossed over 250 live viewers. Let's try to get to 300. Kayfabe Candy asks, well, he said 500, but I think he should do it at 300. Show his face. Kyle Mach said he would shave his head if we hit 300 live viewers. Maybe Gilberto will shave his head if we hit 300 live viewers. But let's keep the numbers coming up. Spread this word. Do the smoke signals. Share this video on all the social media platforms and keep spreading the word. What's going on with Samoa Joe? He should be back pretty soon. I don't think he's going to be back in time for TLC, though. But my guess is he will be back first or second week of November. You know, he's targeting the European tour, which I think is the second week of November. So he should be back pretty soon. Next couple of weeks, Samoa Joe will be back. Should be back in time for the Survivor Series pay-per-view for sure. All right, so I think we covered all the main shirts on Monday Night Raw. If there's anything else from Raw you want me guys to go over real quick, I will do so and give my thoughts. Otherwise, you know, I'll just start talking about some random topics that you guys want to throw out. Braden says, how long until Matt becomes broken? I have no idea. I feel like it's not going to happen, but I'm hoping it will happen at some point. How long will the Shield reunion last? I'm thinking it's just for one match. I mean, they could potentially drag it out to 2, but what else do you do after this? I mean, the Shield beats 4 guys at TLC. Then what? Then what do you do with the Shield after they beat Braun Strowman and The Miz and all those guys? Maybe you could have the Shield versus 3 top guys on SmackDown Live at Survivor Series. A big 3-on-3 match. I mean, there's some possibilities for the Shield. You could potentially stretch it out for a second match. I think it just depends on Brock Lesnar's opponent for Survivor Series. I think it's going to be Finn Balor, but then again, with this whole Bray Wyatt thing, who knows? I'm assuming Bray's going to win the last match and beat Sister Abigail, but maybe the Sister Abigail thing will catch on. It's really hard to say right now. Jeremy says, who should win the Rumble? I've said all along it should be AJ Styles or Nakamura, but I'm not sure if either is going to happen. Wouldn't shock me if Reigns wins it again. They're in Philly, right? I believe they're in Philadelphia for the Rumble again. Are they really going to have Roman Reigns win that? I mean, come on now. I could see WWE doing that just to troll the fans. Seriously. Wouldn't shock me if Cena or Reigns wins the Rumble again, or just somebody who wins every single year. I'd like to see like a first-time winner who is somebody that the internet loves. Why not just give the fans something cool for the Royal Rumble for once? Have a AJ Styles win, or have a Nakamura win, or even a Kevin Owens or a Sami Zayn. One of these guys. Just not the same old crap. Not the same Cena or Reigns or Orton or I don't know. Even Jericho winning the Rumble. Jericho has never won the Royal Rumble. So actually, if there was going to be an older guy winning the Rumble, why not be Chris Jericho since he's never won it? I like that. I'm cool with Chris Jericho winning the Rumble. Don't think it's going to happen unless WWE has some sort of big main event plan for Chris Jericho at the Rumble. Cool Hand Dylan said Kane should win the Rumble. I don't think Kane's going to be there. I think Kane is, Glenn Jacobs is focused on running for the mayor of Knox City in 2018. And that's what he's doing for now. Will he come back for one more match? I think he will. I think we will see one more Kane match. He'll have one final send off, but I don't think it's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. I think that that is unlikely. Maybe not highly unlikely in all likelihood, but pretty unlikely. Jason said Kane needs to retire. I mean, it's really his time. I mean, I could see him come back for one more match, but that's about it. Derek said, what about Bobby Roode winning the Rumble? Possibly. Jeremy said, do you have kids? No, I am not Heath Slater. I do not have kids, and the cats do not count, although I feel like they are my kids. They are pretty much my kids anyways. Who won the women's match tonight? Who's facing Asuka? It is Emma, and Emma is going to get destroyed. Alexander, have you ever been in a fight? Yeah, I have been in a couple, but that was back in middle school / high school, and I've been in verbal fights with people because some people don't like the fact that I tell it like it is, but never a physical fight in my adult life. You know, I'm a lover, not a fighter, as Michael Jackson would say. So will Zayn's heel turn do anything for him? Well, I will talk about this more tomorrow night. Jeremy asked, Raw is in Portland next week. Are you going? Yes, I will be there in Portland next week. So a little programming note for next week. I will be there at the show. I'm not going to do NoDQ Live immediately after the show since I will be driving home afterwards. And I did that in the car for the No Mercy review video. And, you know, the Arena Moda Center is only about a 10 to 15-minute drive from where I live. So I'm just going to wait till I get home. I'm thinking like midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific next week for NoDQ Live. As soon as I get back, I'll set up everything and I'll do the NoDQ Live video with my thoughts on Raw in Portland, Oregon. A big show next week. So it is the go home for TLC, and they're doing a steel cage match. Brock Lesnar, or not Brock Lesnar. I'm kind of sick of Brock Lesnar anyway, so I don't care if he's there or not. I really have no interest in seeing Brock. I've seen him enough times. They're doing Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman in a steel cage match next week as the final build. And I'm assuming that's going to be the main event. Maybe they'll do cruiserweight match again, but feels like that should be the main event. You know, with a week advance notice announcing a match of this magnitude, I think they should put that in the main event spot. But that's just my opinion. Who will be the Raw GM after Kurt Angle? No idea. I really don't know. I don't know if somebody's going to replace him anytime soon. When the time comes if the time comes, I should say, if Kurt gets back into a WWE ring, you know, they might replace him. Who would it be? I mean, I'd like to see it be Hulk Hogan, but I don't know if WWE is ever going to bring him back. Garrett says Paul Heyman. I don't know about that. I mean, Paul Heyman, the thing about him is he appears every now and then. If he was on TV every single week, he would lose his value. Gareth said MVP. That's an interesting name. What do you guys think about a possible replacement for Kurt Angle? Let's say Kurt Angle comes back to the ring. Who should replace Kurt Angle? What do you guys think? Go ahead and list off some names. Okay, Jeremy said Sting. Alexander said Jim Ross. Somebody said Chucky. Edge, Chris Jericho, Steve Austin, CM Punk. Yeah, I think we all wish CM Punk. I think that is wishful thinking. Jim Cornette. Okay, all right, let's talk about Jim Cornette, you know, since we're kind of off topic on Monday Night Raw now. So Jim Cornette and Santino Marella have an altercation during this convention in Detroit. And then Cornette goes on Bruce Pritchard's live show and just trashes the hell out of Santino Marella. It was very entertaining. I mean, Jim Cornette can cut a hell of a promo, whether he's working or shooting. The guy is just gold when it comes to talking. If that guy got $1 for every great line he said, he would be a multimillionaire many times over. But then Jim Cornette did something a little controversial. He had a picture of Vince Russo, this big cutout of Vince Russo's face. He put it on the ground and then proceeded to pull his pants down, exposing his genitals. Yes, Jim Cornette did this. And if you haven't seen it or heard about it, check out NoDQ.com. I have details on it, several posts about it. So Jim Cornette exposed himself. Yeah, he basically, for those of you that are familiar with Sean's View on YouTube, he basically pulled a Sean's View. Somebody said, was he high or drunk? No, he's just Jim Cornette. He's a certifiable lunatic. Now, the thing that's a bit disturbing about this is that this is an all-age event, at least the events that I looked up on Ticketmaster. Bruce Pritchard's live podcast show that he does. He's doing this little tour. It says it's an all-ages event on Ticketmaster. So I'm assuming there were at least a couple of kids at this show. But then again, what kind of parent would take their kid to go see Jim Cornette? I mean, they should know what they're getting themselves into in the first place. Lucky T said he pulled out his little tennis racket. There you go. So Jim Cornette, at a show where I presume there were kids there, exposed himself. So hopefully he's not going to get in any kind of legal trouble for that. I mean, I'm sure it was just a joke. You know, it wasn't like he was doing some really vile sex act. You know, he's just making a joke there. So, you know, it was just comedy, but it was a really bad idea if kids were there to do something like that. I mean, it wasn't the brightest thing for Jim Cornette to do. Blame the parents, says Travis. I mean, yeah, like I said, if you're taking your kid to go see Jim Cornette, I mean, yeah, you're not going to expect the guy to expose himself, but I mean, it's Jim Cornette after all. The guy's going to drop a ton of F-bombs and he's going to say a whole bunch of offensive things. Hamp is asking how big his thing was. Was it as big as Batista's? I have not seen the uncensored version. Oh man, we're so close to 300. I guess the Jim Cornette talk is boosting the numbers. We're at 262 right now. So we're really close to 300. Let's keep it going. I'll keep talking about Jim Cornette and Batista's thingies if that's going to boost up the numbers. I have not seen the uncensored video. Have any of you? I for journalistic purposes only, I tried to look it up. I tried to find the uncensored version, and I could not find anything. But apparently, he did, in fact, expose himself at that event. Ooh, somebody just retracted a message. What's going on here? We're getting retracted messages in the chat room. Alexander says, do you like Beavis and Butthead? Yeah, Beavis and Butthead was one of my all-time favorite shows growing up, and I loved the comeback in 2010, whenever it was, and I'm sad they only brought it back for one season. Russo is living, and he might say, I'm not sure what that comment was about. Thoughts on Corbin's new theme song? I think I did mention this on the review video. By the way, if you guys have not checked it out, there are actually two review videos. I did a live video last night because I was having a lot of technical problems on Skype. You know, we did do the 4-person panel review video as usual, but Skype was really acting up, and it basically screwed up the video for the other 3 people on the panel. Their video was flickering the entire time, so I had to edit it and just use still images for them. That video is up, though, on YouTube, as well as the live video if you guys checked it out last night. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out. 2 review videos. And I did mention Corbin's theme. I'm definitely a big fan, but I will try to discuss that more tomorrow night for the live video. Somebody mentioned a new Star Wars trailer. Believe it or not, I have never been a fan of Star Wars. I could never get into it. I'm not really into sci-fi like Star Wars and Star Trek. Not my cup of tea, but that's just me. Everyone's obsessed with Star Wars except for me. Everybody's obsessed with beer except for me. I mean, I'm straight edge. I'm an atheist. I don't like Star Wars. I'm maybe even more insane than Jim Cornette, if that's even possible. But I will not pull a Jim Cornette at the Bruce Pritchard show, and I will not pull a Sean's View. I will not do that for 300 views. There's some crazy things I will do. I will tease doing, but one thing I will not do is pull a Sean's View to get 300 live viewers. Somebody said hashtag straight edge. You're damn right. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs. Atheist. I mean, I'm like CM Punk basically stole my gimmick. I was doing it since birth, and it's my lifestyle. So it is what it is. And apparently Seth Rollins is an atheist too. I think CM Punk and Seth Rollins are the only open atheists in mainstream wrestling, to my knowledge. There might be others, but I know those two definitely are open atheists. Seth is going to hell, said Hamp. Don't pull an HBK and lose your smile. I'm not losing my smile. Oh, I'm a libertarian too, so I'm like all the crazy things that nobody else is, and I don't like sports either. I only like fake wrestling, so I am definitely one of those crazy people. Steven, are you ever planning to grow back the protest beard? If there's something to protest right now, I'm fine just not having the beard. I am not vegan. That is one extreme thing I will not do. I like chicken and beef and pork and all that stuff. So yeah, no vegan for me. That ain't gonna work. That is one thing I have not conformed to in Portland, Oregon. I have not gone vegan. Coke or Pepsi? I like Pepsi, but I don't mind Coke Zero. Do I like McDonald's? I do like McDonald's because there's one right down the street from where I live, and it's easy for me to get to when I'm going to and from the airport. And I like cats, so yeah, I'm nuts. And I'm 2 years away from baldness too. My birthday is November 22nd, the same day as the JFK assassination, and also Brett Buchanan's birthday, formerly of BWR, an old show that we used to have on NoDQ about a decade ago. I'm sure none of you remember that. I mean, most of you barely even remember XMV. You guys barely even remember Jeff when Jeff made his return to NoDQ last year. You're like, who's this guy? But yeah, you can go back and watch all the old Talk Wrestling episodes and NoDQ episodes. I did do a freestyle a couple weeks ago. We hit 200 a couple weeks ago. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up in a few minutes here. Any other topics you guys want me to cover related to Raw? Tomorrow night I will discuss SmackDown. And thank you, Master Gordon, for subscribing. I appreciate it. I think the end of the video, I'll do like all the random non-wrestling questions. The Spinner Rooney video is on the channel. I did do that video. We still haven't hit 300 yet, so it's a work in progress. Oh, Andrew says Young Bucks. My thoughts on the Young Bucks. I like the Young Bucks. They actually responded to a tweet I posted on NoDQ about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns did this interview where he said he wasn't a fan of wrestlers that did the too sweet symbol. Oh, too sweet. I don't even know how to do it. That's how lame I am. I can't even do the too sweet symbol. Yeah, Roman Reigns did this interview. He said he's not a fan of guys that do the too sweet symbol and copy DX, and the Young Bucks responded to that. You guys can check that out on Twitter. I like the Young Bucks, though. I mean, I think they will end up in WWE someday. It's just a matter of the timing being right for them. Curtis said Young Bucks too small but entertaining. Gareth said Sister Abigail. I did comment on that. I did mention that earlier. I'd like to see Sister Abigail attack Finn Balor in the shower on next week's Raw. Brain says, do you like Meltzer? If it wasn't for Meltzer, I wouldn't be doing this. So I owe everything to that guy. Do you like Grim Toy Show? Yes, I do. I enjoy his videos. They're very entertaining. Ooh, somebody got timed out. Is that Russian text? Not sure. Somebody got in timeout. Somebody's causing trouble here. Cooksy97, did you have a fallout with Sean's View? I did not have a fallout with him. I was fine having him on the video, and I thought he did a good job when he was on the video, but he pretty much blew us off after that. So I'm not sure what his deal is. Not really a fan of his clickbait titles. I think they're a bit over the top, but that's just my opinion. Will Roman ever go back to mid-card status? No, ain't happening. Do you think WWE would put put Chris Benoit in the 2K? Yeah. Do you think WWE would put Chris Benoit in the 2K games in the future? Easy for me to say. I don't think so. I think that is slim to none, the odds of that happening. Will we ever hear the classic Shield theme music? I saw some people were disappointed that the Shield did not use the old school theme. Instead, at the end of the segment to kick off Raw, they just did the Shield's Roman Reigns version of the song. So some people were disappointed about that. I'd like them to do like some sort of cool remix in addition to doing an elaborate entrance. I'd like to see them maybe have a new remixed version of the theme song. Favorite WWE design T-shirt, Austin 316. I mean, that was an all-time classic. I mean, that was the best-selling wrestling T-shirt of all time. I mean, my favorite wrestling T-shirt is that original Austin 316 or the NWO T-shirt. I mean, you can't go wrong with that classic black and white NWO T-shirt. That shirt in Austin 316, for me, really, that was such a big deal at the time, you know, wearing those T-shirts, you know, going to school. And, you know, lots of kids were wearing those shirts. So that's when you knew wrestling was actually popular. I'm not sure. I'm going to ask some of you guys that are in high school right now, do a lot of kids wear wrestling T-shirts at your high school? When I was in high school around 99, and I'm really dating myself how old I am, the Attitude Era was huge. And they actually did the Rock's catchphrases during the morning announcement. So that's how big wrestling was when I was in high school. And yeah, tons of DX shirts, tons of Austin shirts, tons of NWO and NWO Wolfpack shirts. So it was really big. And it wasn't embarrassing to actually wear a wrestling shirt to school because a lot of people did it. Looking at some of the comments here, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are wearing wrestling shirts at their high schools. Looking at some of the comments here, man, they're going so fast. It's hard to keep up with these comments. So I apologize if you guys send me a question or comment and I miss it. I try to read off as many as possible, but I'm not Superman here. It's difficult. They move so quickly. Literally, like every split second, a new comment pops up. John Cena will be the next Raw GM. I think it's too soon for that. Maybe 10 years down the line when Cena's retired, if he does retire in 10 years. Jeremy said a lot of kids do wear DX or NWO shirts now, today. I mean, I would think like you would see like the Roman Reigns T-shirts. I mean, every once in a while, if I go somewhere, I'll see somebody at the mall wearing a John Cena T-shirt. I do see occasional Roman Reigns T-shirts. I did see an AJ Styles T-shirt actually fairly recently, just at some random place. So I do see it on occasion, but not like before. Edward says the best wrestling town. Well, it's got to be New York. I mean, New York is the mecca for WWE. And, of course, Chicago when they're not trying to put the focus on themselves and not chanting CM Punk 24/7. Toronto's a great city. LA's pretty good. LA's a pretty good city. I wouldn't say they're at the level of Chicago or New York, but LA can be good at times. Yeah, Toronto's a great city. Toronto's definitely one of the best wrestling cities. Oh, okay. So a little bit of a programming note. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video in a minute here. So this coming week, we got Wrestling Trivia Challenge. There will be a triple threat match. 3 random fans. Jeff Meacham will not be on the video. 3 random people are going to be part of this challenge. The winner will face Jeff Meacham for the NoDQ Trivia Championship. And also, Joe Cronin is coming to NoDQ. That's right. Joe Cronin of the Joe Cronin Show will be on a future NoDQ panel video coming up in the next couple weeks. So that is confirmed. We will have him on. Oh, Jeremy says, I like your dad's music. Thank you for that. So quick plug for my dad. Zoog's Rift. ZOOGZ Rift. Look him up on Spotify, iTunes, and just have an open mind. Keep in mind, he's basically like the Salvador Dali of rock music. He does some pretty outlandish, weird music. He tries to be even more extreme than somebody like a Frank Zappa or a Captain Beefheart. He's one of those kind of guys, just very, very artistic with his style. So check it out. Zoog's Rift. You can tell by his name alone that you know, he's missing a few screws. So check that out on Spotify, iTunes. And on that note, I will wrap up this video. We've gone 45 minutes here. I will be back tomorrow night, another edition of No DQ Live. Got a lot of things to talk about. You know what? How about this? We hit 300 live viewers. Whenever it happens, one random person in the chat room will win a NoDQ.com t-shirt of their choice. They can get a NoDQ.com t-shirt, a Talk Wrestling shirt, retro NoDQ.com shirt. If we hit 300, one random person in the chat room on that night will get a free NoDQ.com t-shirt. So that is the new stipulation for 300 live viewers. We came close tonight. We got to about 270. So unfortunately, we did not reach 300, but maybe next time. Spread the word. Tomorrow night, 10:15 Eastern, 7:15 Pacific time, No DQ Live. We will be back, all of us together. We're one big happy family. I'll be back. Maybe the cats will be here. Maybe we'll hit 300. And then, of course, next Monday night, midnight, 9 p.m. Pacific, I should say, around that time, we will do a special edition of No DQ Live with my thoughts being there in Portland for next week's Raw. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.